Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? My name is Laura Cantu,
And
and
uh, and I'm Francisco Cantu.
we are the co-founders of Best College Aid, and we're here today to have yet another live stream, live Q&A session. Remember that we do this every month at the end of the month, so it is that time again, the last week of June. Crazy how the year, the months, the days are just flying by, but here we are, and we are ready to answer some of your questions.
Yeah, if you tuned in last week for TikTok and Instagram live streams, I was doing those presentations by myself. This week, I'm joining Laura for the Q&A session. And moving forward, I was lucky enough to be, invited a couple of times before. Last week, again, I did Instagram and TikTok live streams. But moving forward, you're going to be seeing a bit more of my face in these English YouTube, Facebook live streams. And again, we have those every week. So yeah, I'm excited to start us off really well and to answer some questions.
Yeah, super exciting. Francisco is going to be mostly taking over these live streams, but as he said, it's going to be still, you'll see me around in the live streams. I'll be in the content and I will still be around. It's just Francisco is going to be a leading man and I will come here and there to help him during these weekly live streams. But yeah, remember today we are talking about, well, we're having our monthly live Q&A sessions where we are going to give you tips and answer your questions regarding how to help your student get accepted into college with scholarships. And I also want to invite you to follow us in all of our other social media platforms. Remember that you can find us at Best College Aid USA. And, that is the same handle for every social media. We do our other weekly live streams on our other social media platforms, such as Instagram and TikTok tomorrow. So on Tuesdays, remember, we go live at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So at the same time as today, we will be doing that tomorrow on TikTok and on Instagram. So make sure that you tune in and you join these live streams because you can also get your questions answered then. And, we don't only do Q&A sessions. We do other topics, other subjects in these live streams. So make sure that you follow us so you can stay up to date with all of our content. And also, since it is the live Q&A session that we have at the end of the month, I just want to do a small recap of what we talked about during the past month, the past few weeks. We talked about what to do this summer before senior year of high school, what your students should be doing. That was David, who was doing that live stream. And then on June 13th, we went over the differences between a college and a university. That was a very important live stream full of important information. So, if you haven't seen it, I definitely encourage you to go back and watch it because it was full of valuable information that could help your student and yourself if you're a student or a parent watching this. And last week, we talked about choosing the perfect college for your student. Also, an amazing live stream. And it's all, it all stays in this platform. So if you want to go back and watch this, feel free because, as I said, full of information.
Right. And if you're a parent watching this, and let's say your student has a summer job or they're doing summer school, and for any reason they're not able to tune in to the weekly live streams, as Laura said, everything gets recorded and posted on these platforms. So feel free to browse our YouTube channel. You're going to be able to see all those previous live streams that we've had. Plus, the one that we're currently on right now is going to be posted soon. So yeah, keep that in mind. And do invite other parents or other students to come and join us because we try to answer questions every week as we go through our presentations. But it's also nice to have these monthly Q&A sessions as we're going to do today so that anything that you might be wondering about, because there's so many different aspects to the road to college, whether it's, the academic aspect of GPA, the academic aspect of standardized test scores, advanced level classes, whether it's essays, whether it's extracurriculars. There's so many little components. So it's nice to take a minute and allow y'all to go ahead and ask specific questions that pertain to what you're going through at this particular stage. And yeah, hopefully give you the best information possible. So I'm excited for this Q&A session.
Me too. And as always, remember that David is in the live stream. He's answering questions. He's welcoming all of you and, asking also us. Let us know where you are joining from. We're in South Florida right now with the middle of the summer, so the heat is pretty intense. So let us know where you all are watching us from, and whether you are a parent or a student. If you're a parent, what grade is your student in? And if you are a student, what grade are you in? Obviously, it's the summer, right? So you are probably during the summer, summer vacation. But if you are a student, what grade are you going to go to? Or if you're a parent, what grade are you going to go into? Let us know in the comments section below. And yeah, so why don't we go ahead and answer. Earlier today, we did our Spanish live stream. So if you follow us in those Spanish accounts, well, you probably maybe saw us. But yes, we do our live streams in Spanish and English and our different platforms. And we got a lot of valuable questions that we decided to, translate and bring them to this live stream and have them answered here in English. So in case there's somebody who has the same exact questions, maybe they, we can answer them for you. So here are some of the questions that were asked during this live stream. We're going to start off with those questions and see, if a conversation after we answer those, we get a conversation going. Remember that this live stream specifically is special because you get to ask us questions and we get to answer them live. So why don't we go ahead and answer the questions that were asked earlier today. Paula Glasgow asked, when should we apply for the FAFSA? My daughter is going to be a senior next year.
Right. So the FAFSA gets filled out every year before the student is going to go to college. So it starts the senior year of high school because the following year they're going to college, and it continues to be filled out every single year for which the student will be going to college next. So all the way up to junior year of the student's college career if they're going to be graduating on their senior year. Again, so you fill it out starting October 1st, and it is for the following school year. So right now, the students who are are about to start their senior year of high school, they're getting ready so that when October 1st comes, your family should be filling out the FAFSA for their freshman year of college. Even though they're still in high school, they're filling it out for the following school year. And the thing about the FAFSA is that it is money that is awarded, or it's a form that is best to complete on a first come first serve basis. So as early as it opens, October 1st, that's when we recommend students to go ahead and fill that out, get it out of the way, so that if there are any filing errors, you can go ahead and get those corrected before the closing deadlines. If there is any sort of money that goes on a first come first serve basis, they get first access to that money. So do go ahead and fill it out starting October 1st of your student's senior year of high school. And yeah, be mindful of those dates. Make sure you have a channel of communication open with the Federal Student Aid Office in case there's any errors. With the university, do check and call. Make sure that you get confirmation that the university is in your list for which your student is applying to, that they received the FAFSA completed, and that there's no sort of error with the processing or anything like that, because you want to make sure that you get access to the most amount of money and that there are no complications, no errors, anything like that.
Yeah, and I mean, everything that Francisco said, it's, correct, and it's great advice. And since you're telling us your daughter is going to be a senior next year, so this is the summer before her senior year, definitely, be on top of that. Make sure that as soon as it opens, which is in October, make sure that you guys are ready to fill it out so that you can get that done as early as possible. Because as Francisco said, it does have to be filled out every year, and it's better to just do it as soon as possible. So it's going to be the first time for your daughter this upcoming year. So it's a great question, and hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, and this might allow me to pivot just before we move on. Some colleges do also require you to fill out the CSS profile. Again, we've covered in previous live streams. If you haven't watched them, do make sure that you browse back and see the live streams where we talked about the different types of financial aid and scholarships. If not, you can also go to the link in our bio to check out our webinar and our training where we discuss the 4 types of financial aids and scholarships. Again, that's in the link in bio, whether you're on YouTube or in Facebook. The link should be down below. But pretty much what I want to cover with the CSS profile is that some schools require this additional form that's complementary to the FAFSA for you to fill out. So if your student is a senior and they have their or an incoming senior and they have their final list of colleges already set up, it is crucial to go ahead and check which ones of those schools may require the CSS profile to be completed, because you want to make sure that you have all those forms submitted in time so that your student qualifies for the most amount of financial aid and scholarships.
Correct. So great question. Thank you so much for, Paula asked that question earlier. So, and it was answered earlier today, but it's always good to, so I feel like sometimes people will come into these live streams and I don't know, maybe they get shy or, they do have a question and they don't remember it. So it's good. We do this. So in case that a parent or student who's watching this is like, oh, wait, I had the same question. I just forgot about it. Or I forgot to write it. Or I don't know, whatever the case is.
Or some people just don't know what they don't know. So it's good to cover those things for parents who didn't even know what the FAFSA was or the CSS profile. It's always better to cover more information than less information.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of people don't even know that they have a problem until it's also like it's too late, or there is something piling up, or they find out about something when it's too late. So maybe your child is watching this live stream and you're watching it right now with your student and you realize he or she's in ninth grade, and this information might not be relevant right now, but it's good to know it from early on as well. So definitely, thank you so much for asking this question, and let's move on to the next one. Let's see.
I'll have to take a call real quick. I'll be right back, everybody.
All right, so I'm going to answer this question. Francisco will be back. So can everyone apply to the FAFSA, or is it only available to U.S. citizens? All right, so that is a great question. And that is a question that a lot of students ask, a lot of parents and students. Can everyone apply to the FAFSA? And the answer is only U.S. citizens, U.S. residents, and eligible non-U.S. citizens can apply for the FAFSA, can qualify for federal aid. That being said, this does not mean that just because your student is not a U.S. citizen, or maybe they are undocumented, or maybe they are DACA students, this does not mean that they will not be able to take to get any financial aid, or will not be able to be accepted into any colleges, right? So everyone can apply to FAFSA? No, not everyone. It's not only available to citizens, though. However, it is available to residents of the United States and non-eligible non-U.S. citizens. Alrighty, so that is a question that we do get a lot. But remember, if you have a student that maybe does not qualify for federal aid for the FAFSA because maybe they're migratory status is different, they're not non-U.S. citizens, there's a lot of schools that offer acceptance, financial aid, full ride scholarships to international students, non-U.S. citizen students. So there are still options, and don't get discouraged or your student don't think that they cannot apply or not go to college in the United States or not afford it. Alrighty, so we have Francisco is back. He was back. This is the question of Fran. If you want to elaborate on anything, on the question by the Pook family.
Yeah. Can everyone apply to the FAFSA, or is it only available to U.S. citizens? Did you cover the eligible non-citizens?
Yeah. I mean, but you should elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, basically, primarily, the FAFSA is, in fact, for the United States citizens. But there are certain qualifications for which a non-citizen could qualify to apply for the FAFSA. In order to do that, and in order to check if you qualify, I would suggest that you go to the federal aid website. You can just go fafsa.gov, or you can just the first thing that comes up when you Google FAFSA. And then there's going to be a sub menu where you look for eligible non-citizens, and that will give you a list of qualifications, whether you're here under, as a refugee or XYZ. Go ahead and check that list on their official website, because that has the bullets under which someone may qualify for the to fill out the FAFSA without having to be a citizen. So again, go to the official FAFSA website and go to the menu that says eligible non-citizens, and that should give you a list of the different qualifications that may enable you to apply for the FAFSA.
Great answer, Francisco. Alrighty. So, what was our next question that we were asked? This was by Brian Chuchon asking, I am 23 years old. Can I still go to college even if I don't have a lot of money? All right. Yes, the answer is you can go to college if you didn't get your undergraduate degree yet. Let's say maybe you graduated from high school and maybe you just decided, maybe at the time college wasn't for you, or you thought, I'm not going to go to college, but maybe you're 23 if this is the case. And you realize, maybe I do want to go to college, but I just think that I can't afford it. And that's why I never went. Whatever the case may be, students can go to college, can get their undergraduate degree, even if it's been a few years since they graduated from high school. And also, if don't have a lot of money to afford it, there's a lot of colleges who are very, generous with financial aid. There are colleges that also offer, merit-based scholarships, and, need-based scholarships, obviously. So it all depends on looking for and finding the right colleges that are going to award these, financial aid packages for you. This this need-based scholarships, right? So yes, the answer is you can still go to college if you haven't done so already. I don't know if you have something to say.
Yeah, the only thing that I would have to add to that, apart from what you mentioned about the whole financial aid package, is that in the webinar that we have in the link in bio, we do cover a little bit more about the distinctions between merit-based scholarships and need-based scholarships. And, you talk about money and whether or not it should be a limiting factor to going to college. Well, understanding the different colleges, as Laura said, policies and their generosity, as well as your financial makeup and how those colleges have a list of or a history of helping families in a similar financial standing as yours. All that's going to be super important, and those are all factors to consider when making your list of colleges, so that you can in fact go to college even if you don't have a lot of money, by leveraging those different aspects of the universities in your list. And money is not a limiting factor, so do check that link in bio and watch that webinar, because it covers a lot of the information that you asked in that question.
Yeah, and by the way, you probably have heard us say, watch this free training, this free webinar. This is located, as Francisco said, underneath this video's description. In this video's description, whether you're watching on, if you're watching on YouTube, it should be down here in the description section. If you're watching on Facebook, it should be up here. But regardless, there is a link that will take you to this free training where you will learn the 6 steps to send your students to college with scholarships. All you have to do is click the link below to save your spot, and you can learn more strategies, more tips that can help you and your students to better prepare for that college admissions process, to understand what opportunities are out there, and as the title, suggests, to help them go to college in the United States with scholarships. And if you're a student watching this could also help you as well. So yeah, great question by Brian. And the next question was by El Rum. They asked, how can I get started on creating a list of colleges? And I love this question, creating a college list. And it's something that, a lot of parents ask us, a list of colleges, like, what does that mean? Well, it all starts from, understand, like, maybe students should even start creating a college list. I always say maybe at the end of 9th grade, and what is a list of colleges before I even, get started? A list of colleges is a potential college list. It should be made up of 8 to 12 schools that the student is going to be applying to during their senior year of high school. When the time comes to apply for colleges, to send out applications, there should be a well thought out college list of colleges, and every single school on that list should have been thought out. Students should have researched, should have a general understanding of the programs offered, the financial aid offer at that school. And the reason why we suggest that students should be creating a list is because this will maximize their odds of not only getting accepted, but also finding the schools that are going to be awarding financial aid to them, right? And there's a whole strategy strategy behind, creating a college list, looking for the right colleges. And we go that more in depth inside of Best College Aid. But, how can I get started on creating a college list of colleges? I always say to students is knowing what the student wants, right? What is the student? Does the student have an understanding on, what they want to study, or an idea? A lot of students from ninth grade, they know I want to be a doctor one day, or, I want to study English. Knowing those type of things is very important when creating a list of colleges. Also, knowing your family's financial situation, right? If having a conversation with your student on where the finances stand, whether or not the student will be able to, have a lot of help from their parents, or if they're going to have to look for colleges that are going to be more generous and look for more private scholarships as well. Knowing the family's finances, looking for schools that meet the student's academic needs. If the student practices an extracurricular, looking for colleges that are going to be offering those extracurricular activities to maybe potentially get a scholarship from the college to continue to do a sport, to do an art. I don't know if you have anything to say. I get really carried away sometimes.
No, that's all great information. If you are a parent and you want to help your students start creating this college list, one of my favorite exercises, as Laura mentioned, the final college list of 8 to 12 schools, and it should made up of a strategy of reach, target, safety schools, yes. But taking a few steps back, again, if you're a parent, what I very much recommend you do for your student is start off with an exercise to create the preliminary list. And the exercise is as follows. You pretty much go up to them and you ask them, okay, let's sit down and envision the perfect college experience, right? What are you going to be doing on Saturdays? What's your schedule going to look like, Monday through Friday with regards to classes? Do you see yourself driving to campus, or is it at a place that has great public transportation? Do they have a big sports culture? Do you want to have some big SEC football, on Saturdays, or do you not really care about that? You're more of like a basketball person. Or if you don't care about sports, you just want like a small community where you can have like one-on-ones with your professors, because the faculty to student ratio is, very high. So you have a lot of faculty per student. So again, all those things are variables that in this exercise you're going to be considering. And then once you get an idea of, okay, I want to go to a large school, at least 30,000 undergraduate students. I want it to be a big public school. Okay, so that narrows it down to state schools. And I want them to have some sort of business program or pre-med program, whatever it is. And I want them to offer XYZ amount of classes, except on Fridays. Again, all those little things help get a general picture. And that general picture can start off with, instead of having like 3,000 different potential colleges in your list, maybe that narrows it down to like 100. And then you add another variable and narrows it down to 50. And then, as Laura said, by the time you get to your senior year, or that your student gets to their senior year, all of a sudden you do have that list of 8 to 12 schools that, based on that vetoing and that filtering process, are definitely all encompassing of what your student wants.
Exactly. So to answer your question, L, is how can I get started? It starts literally with knowing what the student wants. Maybe it doesn't happen right away. It takes some thinking, like, or, considering of certain, a lot of different aspects, not just certain aspects, but it all comes to, knowing what it is the student wants, where they want to go, and all the little things such as location, not little things, but all those different factors, will also help you make this final decision. But, when it comes to looking or creating a college list, it starts off with knowing what the student wants, and yeah, going from there. But that was a great question that we had. And let me just remind you, oopsies, let me just remind you, if you just joined this live stream, we do have a free training. I know we just answered some questions, but we always want to give you more information. So I encourage you to go register for this free training where we explain the 6 steps to send your students to college with scholarships. If you click the link below this video, you will be able to reserve your spot and watch this free training. And it's going to be very helpful. We have thousands of families watch this training and learn so many valuable information, so much information that maybe they have not learned been able to learn before at there's children's high school, or maybe they feel overwhelmed. So it's very well thought out, very organized, this presentation. So I definitely encourage you to go watch it and go register for it. Again, it's the link below this video. It's in the description, so definitely go sign up. And I believe that is all the questions that we had for today. I don't know if you want to say anything else, Francisco.
Pretty much the thing that I love to always sign off with when I talk to parents, specifically the ones who have students starting high school. Certainly, it applies also for students or parents of students who are about to start their senior year. But when you're starting high school or when you start the process of looking for colleges, it's pretty much a blank canvas. Really, you could go any school that you want to, or any, no, it doesn't matter how far-fetched it might be. Your student very much has the potential to do it. Oftentimes I find then, rather than a lack of having the requirements, the qualifications, the resources, most often than not is just lack of access to information. And that's precisely why we do this live streams on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, just so that our little bits of experience and expertise, because we were blessed enough to be able to go to college, and we all were able to afford it. We got full rides. Between the 4 of us, Laura, me, and my 2 other siblings, we got over $500,000 in financial aid and scholarships throughout the 4 years combined. So pretty much, yeah, we took all that experience, and that's why we do these live streams. So if you're a parent right now watching this, do know that your student can do it. You can do it. Yeah, as we say, I went to school in North Carolina. There's a saying that started off as a meme because Michael Jordan went to a basketball game there, and he meant to say something about there's no ceiling or no limits to what you can do. But what's said and what's stuck as a phrase in Chapel Hill is the ceiling is the roof. So pretty much that just means to say that there are no limits to what your student can do. And yeah, as always, we're a resource. If you want to join these live streams, recommend them to someone to tune in. Do go ahead and take advantage of that free training that we have in the link in bio. Again, everything that we covered today, we covered to more depth in that webinar and that free training. So reserve your spot at your own time. Go ahead and sign up for whenever is most convenient for you.
Yeah, it's completely free to watch, completely free to sign up. All you have to do is register and choose the time that works best for you and watch it and learn some amazing, valuable information that is going to help, this college planning journey for your student. So definitely also come back. Don't forget to follow us in our other social media channels and share this live stream with whoever maybe you have somebody who is struggling with this process, or it's in the same boat as you are, or trying to just get a little head start on college planning. So definitely share this video, share our content with them. Once again, thank you so much for joining, and we will see you again tomorrow on Instagram and TikTok, or next week, or on our free training. Have a great day.
It was a pleasure. Have a good one, y'all.
Thank you.